The feeding of the 5,000, based on Matthew 14:13 to 21, Mark 6:30 to 44, Luke 9:10 to 17, and John 6:1 to 15. It was one of those long, dusty days in Galilee, the kind where the sun stretches high in the sky, and people forget how tired they are because something amazing is happening. Jesus had been traveling from town to town, healing the sick, teaching about God's kingdom, and showing people what love looked like in action. Crowds followed him wherever he went. He was becoming known across the land, not because he sought fame, but because people felt hope around him. Real hope. On this day, Jesus had just learned some very sad news. His cousin, John the Baptist, had died. Jesus wanted time to be alone and to pray. So he and his disciples got into a boat and quietly sailed across the Sea of Galilee to a quiet place on the other side. But the crowd saw him go. They didn't wait. People ran along the shore, some even carrying children or helping the sick. Word spread from village to village, and by the time Jesus stepped off the boat, thousands of people were already there, waiting, hoping, watching. Instead of being upset or turning them away, Jesus looked at the crowd and felt compassion. They were like sheep without a shepherd, wandering and hungry, not just in their stomachs, but in their hearts. So even though he was tired, he sat down and began to teach them. He healed their illnesses and told them stories about the kingdom of God. Time passed. The sun moved across the sky. Afternoon turned into evening, and the disciples grew restless. "Master," one of them said, "this is a remote place. It's getting late. Send the people away so they can go into the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus looked at them and replied, "You give them something to eat." The disciples stared at him. "Us? But there are thousands of people. It would take half a year's wages just to give everyone a small piece of bread." Jesus asked, "What do you have?" "Go and see." They searched the crowd. Eventually, Andrew, one of the disciples, came forward with a small boy. The boy looked nervous, holding something in his hands. "There's a boy here," Andrew said, "and he has 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. But what good is that among so many?" Jesus smiled and said, "Have the people sit down." So the disciples helped the people sit in groups on the grassy hillside. Groups of 50, then 100. The crowd was massive, about 5,000 men, not even counting the women and children. Some sat on rocks, others on their cloaks, all of them watching, wondering. Jesus took the little boy's lunch, just 5 loaves and 2 fish, and held it up to heaven. He gave thanks to God. Then he broke the bread and began to give it to the disciples. And something amazing happened. Every time the disciples took some bread or fish, there was more, and more, and more. The food never ran out. They walked through the crowd, handing out baskets of bread and fish, and everyone ate, not just a nibble, but until they were full. People looked at one another in disbelief. "Where is all this coming from?" someone asked. "It's a miracle," another whispered, and it was. When everyone had eaten, Jesus told the disciples, "Gather the leftovers so that nothing is wasted." So they did. And when they were finished, they had 12 full baskets of leftovers, more than they started with. The people were amazed. Some began to say, "This must be the prophet who was promised." Others wanted to make Jesus king right then and there. But Jesus quietly slipped away to the mountains to pray. He hadn't come just to feed their stomachs. He came to show them who God really was. A loving, generous Father who gives more than we can imagine. That day on the hillside, thousands of people were fed from one small lunch. But Jesus gave them more than bread. He gave them a sign of God's power, compassion, and abundance. He showed that even the smallest gift, when given to God, can become a miracle.